Hi guys, welcome to Antique Sprinklers, where we've recently purchased a 7.5-foot tall metal giraffe and painted it pink for the front yard. In any event, we're here to talk about another part of my small but growing collection of Skinner sprinklers. And Skinner is a company, as I've mentioned before, that was founded before the turn of the previous century. And Charles Skinner was a farmer in central Ohio who came up with the means of performing overhead irrigation, which was revolutionary at the time. And he would make a few of his systems and sell them in his local area. And he met a guy on a train in southeastern Michigan one day named Walter Coles. And Walter understood manufacturing and sales and that kind of thing, much more so than maybe somebody who'd spend his life in farming would. And so they teamed up and started to really grow the company. And sometime in that 1908 to 1912 time frame, Walter bought out Charles' share of the company, as Charles had expressed a desire to go back to farming. And the company really took off. You can find Walter's name on a number of patents if you do a Google search online, and I do recommend that. You know, if you're interested in sprinklers, Google has a complete subset of their search engine dedicated to U.S. and international patents, and I find a ton of information there about sprinklers. It's really interesting, at least to me. And their success was remarkable. Pretty much any industry magazine, whether it's for nurseries, hardware, agriculture, golf courses, they all have not only advertisement for Skinner products, but they have articles that talk about places where the Skinner system is being installed, and people giving testimonials to what a difference their Skinner system has made. And they went along very well. The sprinkler we're talking about, I think, comes from the 1950s. I found it in an advertisement in a golf course magazine around that time, and probably was made for a couple of decades, I would assume. And if you're someone who has access to old Skinner catalogs or that kind of thing, I'd be very interested to know where you see this sprinkler. Its model number is a 1091B, as you can see on the lever here. And then on the back it has these two initials, SA. My assumption is the S stands for Skinner, but that could be completely wrong. And then down the spine of the back of the body, it says RSP 1/2 inch, and so the 1/2 inch is because it's actually a 1/2 inch inlet on it that aftermarket somebody bushed up to 3/4 inch, and I was just a smidge too lazy to take that off. And so I really have come to like Skinner products. They were out of business. They'd been absorbed by WeatherTech by the time I came along, so I had awareness of them. But not great interest. A guy I really liked, who I worked with, he was much older than me. His family was from the Philadelphia area, and they were the Skinner dealers back in the 1920s and 30s and 40s, when he was growing up. And they did a lot of golf courses up and down the East Coast, so I knew of them through that, and I knew that they were a successful company that had gone away. But as you'll see in this particular sprinkler, they were an innovative company that made really, really durable products. So obviously you can't pick this thing up and hold it. This is very heavy for a sprinkler this size, I can tell you. And I've noticed that the bronze bodies of their sprinklers tend to be heavier than their competitors. They also use a wedge drive quite a bit, and that'll give you a uniform rotation speed even at low pressures, and they can handle dirty water really well. They've got a good shot, at least, at operating well in frost conditions for a couple of reasons. One is that wedge drive, and the other is a good segue to the next feature I really like about them. Instead of having a metal spring just a wire spring. What they have in this cavity right here is a metal ribbon, and the tension, so one, it's protected inside this cavity, so there's no need to have a special frost cap option like a lot of impact sprinklers do. And the other really cool feature, and I'll show a better picture of this, but it has the ability to adjust the tension on that ribbon. So you can change the speed and the strength of the impact action on it, which will change the speed of rotation. You lock it in place with this set screw right here. But I just think that's really cool, very innovative. A lot of you have probably seen their smaller Spray Low, which is a really cool little lawn and garden kind of sprinkler, and it has that on it. So even a homeowner, as their pressure is different than somebody's pressure in another town, so they can adjust for their local conditions even. So I thought that was a really, really great feature. As I mentioned, this is a golf course sprinkler, and it was meant for greens, and so this would most likely be installed on a roller base, because those would be, were gentle on, the short turf of a green. You just roll it out and you roll it back, and you don't even have to walk on the green if you don't want to. And you can move its position very easily. This particular model came on just a metal base, kind of a sled base, that was in pretty bad shape. And while I still have it in the basement, I don't think it's long for this world. And so, in terms of what it came with, it's got a 5/32 drive nozzle, and it's got a 1/8 range nozzle at the end of this beautiful range tube, and it's all spotted up because I've been using it, so it's got water spots all over it, and it just felt like you guys could forgive that, because you'll see it all shiny in the video. And so we're doing something a little bit different this week. We're going to go ahead and show what the sprinkler looked like when I got it, bits and pieces of the process. I won't bore you with the whole thing, what I leave out might be a little annoying, of cleaning it up and polishing it. And after all that, we'll get to what it looks like in operation. And of course, as always, I've given you the timestamp that you can skip ahead to if you just want to watch sprinklers run. And I do appreciate, though, that you watch, and even with some of the ridiculous things I do in videos, you come back week after week. Thanks.